Now to the latest from New York on the Daniel Penny case.
This is going to be coming after a deadly confrontation on a New York City subway train last May.
Daniel Penny has been found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely.
So Daniel Penny was found not guilty of killing Jordan Neely. All I have to say is the American justice system is fucked up. Daniel Penny literally put this man in a chokehold for more than a minute. And literally, people were like, let him go, let him go, let him go, let him go. And he would not let him go. I am just tired of America. I'm tired of the corrupt system. I'm tired of these people getting away with crimes. I'm tired of it. And I don't want to hear that Jordan Neely had 42 charges when Donald Trump has over 50 charges on his records. I don't want to hear it. America, do better. I am actually really sad and disgusted with the system. And it's time, y'all. It's time for us to go to war. I said what I said.
The exoneration of Daniel Penny brings a sigh of relief and a reinforcement of the right to self-defense. Welcome to another installment of Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification of multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like channel like content, what I do, you can support me with the link. Everything's appreciated. And once again, comments can be removed without notice. There is a crackdown on gun-related channels on YouTube through Google, through their new policy. So just be aware that's happening. If I remove your comment, I'm going to tell you. Now let's talk about this. And what I said in the beginning, a sigh of relief. As Daniel Penny has been exonerated, found not guilty of negligent homicide in a court case that, in my opinion, should never have happened. Now, what's interesting is they had a manslaughter charge that the jury could not agree upon.
This Fox News alert, we are on verdict watch in the New York City criminal trial of Marine veteran Daniel Penny. The jury just sent a note to the judge. They are deadlocked on the first count in this case. This is manslaughter in the second degree.
The jury just passed a note to the judge saying it's unable to reach a unanimous decision on the most serious charge in this case, second-degree manslaughter. The judge said in the courtroom that he thinks he now needs to instruct the jury on an Allen charge, which is essentially telling the jury you need to go back into the deliberations room, talk more, consider the viewpoints of other jurors, and try to reach a consensus.
And in a strange move, the prosecution, along with the judge, dismissed the manslaughter charge and then said you can now consider the lesser charge. And some in the legal community speculated that they were trying to set him up.
Now, explain to our viewers, since they were having so much issue on that first count, did they even discuss the second count, or did they have to really go in order, or are they kind of now knowing, okay, they're going to take this weekend break, come back on Monday? Do they kind of have a feeling of where each other are going on this count two?
It all depends, because under New York law, an individual, when you have a criminal case, when you have lesser included, you have to first come to a verdict on the first count, the most serious charge, before you can consider a lesser included. A state such as Florida, where I'm from, you're able to find somebody guilty based on the highest charge that you believe has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So by deadlocking on the first count, there are individuals, by definition, who wanted to convict Daniel Penny on second-degree manslaughter. Those individuals, when they come back on Monday, are going to still want to convict him for criminal negligent homicide. The question is the holdout people, were they just a difference of, I don't think it's second-degree manslaughter, I think it's criminal negligent homicide, or are those individuals not guilty? I think this verdict could send a very dangerous precedent, because remember, he intervened for his fellow subway passengers when he really did not have to.
that were trying to get a conviction no matter what, which it really does seem that way, because they could not consider that lesser charge unless they came to an agreement on the first charge, which is manslaughter. But he was exonerated Monday, and I tell you, it brings a good feeling, because if Mr. Penny had been convicted, it would be a floodgate of criminal activity, especially in New York City, because they are letting you know, the powers that be, that if you defend yourself, we're going to hold you accountable and try to lock you up for doing so. Now, what's really interesting is there's been a stark comparison to another case that happened in New York by a man by the name of Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams stabbed a man to death who allegedly slapped his girlfriend, and they got in an altercation, and Jordan Williams pulled a knife and stabbed him to death. They were both, this all happened at the same time, but notice which case we're hearing more about. We don't hear more about the Jordan Williams case, we just hear about the Neely case, because the Jordan Williams case was dropped by the grand jury. They chose not to indict.
Charges are now dropped against Jordan Williams. That's the man who had been charged with fatally stabbing a fellow passenger on a J train earlier this month.
Now, Brooklyn grand jury declined to indict, determining he acted in self-defense.
Honestly, I was afraid.
1 week after Jordan Williams and his lawyer Jason Goldman spoke with us exclusively on Good Day New York, a grand jury has dropped all charges against him. Williams, just 20 years old, was accused of fatally stabbing a homeless man on a J train earlier this month and subsequently charged with manslaughter. Williams testified before the grand jury for about 45 minutes, saying that he acted in self-defense after the victim, DeVictor Udrago, punched his girlfriend in the face. Video filmed by another passenger and shown to the grand jury reportedly corroborated that.
All I wanted to do was just get me and my girlfriend off the train safely.
The Brooklyn DA's office released this statement, reading in part that its investigation, quote, included review of multiple videos and interviews with all available witnesses, and that evidence was fairly presented to a grand jury.
And the stark differences between the two cases are, Jordan Williams was carrying a knife. He used that knife in a lethal manner against a person who was unarmed. Daniel Penny put a man in a restraint hold because the man was taunting and threatening people on the train. And every single person on that train said that the guy was out of control and they feared for their lives. I think that was pivotal with the jury. And once again, this happened in Manhattan. I'm stunned that a Manhattan jury all basically went unanimously. I was stunned because they were deadlocked on the manslaughter charge, which means they had some people who wanted to convict and some people who didn't. That was thrown out and said, you can consider this lesser charge. All of a sudden, they were unanimous in their decision to say, nah, no, this is self-defense, we're gonna let it go. I'm actually very shocked. I expected it to be another deadlock, big time, but it didn't. And this man is now free and clear. They can't bring any charges back against him. But of course, here come the family members.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Let's do something about it. Too often, we have Eric Garner's mother here.
And I always have the same question when these family members come out the woodwork to talk about how great their child was. Where were you before this? Now, Jordan Neely's father had to be removed from the courtroom because during the reading of the verdict, he, I guess, threw a few expletives and basically showed his ass in the court, and they put him out, and they said, no, you can't be here. He goes out and says now they're going to file a suit against Mr. Penny for the death of their son. And it's like, you know, why do we keep seeing the same pattern? Why is it when these things happen, these family members come out the woodwork saying, you know, we cared about our child. You didn't really care that much. This person was on the streets. Why weren't you taking care of him? This person had issues. Why weren't you taking care of him? But all of a sudden, a paycheck comes out. Here they come. Here they come. Boy, you just, it makes you wonder. But coming back to the fact that this is a win-win for the right of self-defense. This trial was, I'm going to say global. I'm sure a lot of people around the world were watching this case very carefully. And as much as I don't want to talk about them, I'm going to put this out there. The New York chapter of BLM went on a tirade.
I'm the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Greater New York. I stand here heartbroken because I have to hug a father who knows that the murderer of his son will most likely go free, who has to look in the face of a jury that no matter the facts, no matter the expert witnesses, no matter the people yelling on that train that day to let Jordan go, you will kill him. They will not find a white man guilty of killing a black man in modern day America. This is no different than Jim Crow. This looks like a picture out of the picture book when you look at that anonymous jury. We have baby boomers who were there during Jim Crow on this jury. We have young people who are looking at Daniel Penny as a hero. And what America is a hero, a killer. He didn't give a crap about Jordan. The medical examiner said Jordan turned purple. Yes, black people can turn purple when they are denied oxygen. Every lab report showed he died of asphyxiation. And that doesn't matter because they want to spare a white man the penalty of his crimes. America has not changed, and I hate to say it, it may never change. And people who keep asking, are we going to riot? Are we going to protest? Is that what's needed? Do glass have to break? Do cars have to burn for a black man to get justice in America? We can't show up with peace. We can't show up with facts. We can't show up with evidence and witness after witness. You give us nothing. And then you ask us to love this country. America hates black people, and we see it from that jury pool.
We need some black vigilantes.
That's right.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud. How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Let me be clear about something. And be clear as I can be. If you go out listening to the advice of the galactically stupid and you go out and try to injure somebody, vigilante black justice or whatever you want to call it, and that person turns around and whoops your behind or puts you in a splint, you can get no sympathy from me. None whatsoever. And I encourage people, keep your head on a swivel because there are stupid people out there who are willing to follow the advice of morons like these people, somehow telling you that injuring another human being because you don't like the outcome of a court trial is about as ignorant as it comes. Everybody saw the video. Everybody's heard the witnesses. These people just seem to be so disconnected. The people who were on the train were people of color. They all unanimously said the same thing. Yet to these people, it don't matter. You want to know why? Because their grift is up. And they know it. Now, we're going to have to wait and see if any violence is actually going to happen. I'm pretty sure Mr. Penny is going to have to probably move out of the city if that's the case, because he's not going to get any peace from these morons. I do congratulate him on getting through this. It should never have happened. As in the comparison between his trial and the Jordan Williams trial, is complete difference. Complete difference, because Jordan Williams actually was in possession of a weapon and stabbed another person to death. He didn't even get through the grand jury. The grand jury refused to indict. Daniel Penny was indicted. Now I can sit here all afternoon and talk about social issues with these two cases, but for the sake of the argument and the sake of time, this reinforces the right to self-defense. And it doesn't matter that Mr. Penny used a restraint hold that may or may not have led to this man's death. It's irrelevant. The implement is not the problem. Okay? It's not. So you can imagine yourself put in a position where you may have to use lethal force And when something like that happens, all of a sudden you find yourself in the same position as Mr. Penny. So just keep that in mind. This is a win-win for self-defense. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.